Welcome back to the Chief Podcast. I'm Jackson Leach. Today we got Felipe Soares. We're talking. Is that Soares? Is that correct? Okay, I was gonna say I've never seen your last name before.
Yeah, man. Your RTC days, bro.
Yeah, this is my boy from back in the day.
You used to see my last name.
Oh yeah, it's 100%.
That's what any of the RTC guys downtown. They just like see me. They're like Soares. I'm like, what the fuck. I can curse, right?
Yeah, of course, dude. This is my boy from literally probably week 1 of school at Clemson. We've known each other for a minute, and I feel like our relationship has evolved a lot since just being like guys who knew each other in RTC, and then you quit RTC sophomore year?
Yeah, after sophomore year.
Yeah, and then we stayed in contact pretty much the whole way.
We've like evolved throughout different friend group, kind of like transcending friend groups, kind of, but at the same time like same friends somehow throughout college.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a weird little like spiral staircase.
We've both socially evolved and somehow stayed within like the same like social group.
Yeah.
I feel like people that are just like chill just tend to like know each other.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. You're also in Phi Sig, which I say.
Yeah. And you lived with Diego.
Right. Went to high school
Shout
with
Diego.
Shout Diego. He's in the audience today. And then I went to school with high school with some of your boys from Phi Sig. So.
Right.
Yeah, we've been in pretty close knit circles. And I will say, like you gave me a speech sophomore year about eliminating danger from the world. And
oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
You're like the most direct way to take away
being that
from
sword,
the world,
that light in the darkness.
Light in the darkness, and
amen, dude.
Killing bad guys.
Yeah.
So
speech when we were on like a road trip in the woods, and there was like a snake, and I thought it was my grandpa, and I talked to it, and it was like crazy and stuff, and then like after that like on some crazy shit, like dancing and stuff, and then like I ended up asking him about that. I was like, like obviously we're both in RTC and stuff, and like at that time I still wanted to go do armor or be armor or something, and I was like, right now we're tripping. Like how do you think about like having to go do stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like military stuff like that. Having to potentially like be in combat and stuff and do what you gotta do. And then he gave me that speech, and I was like, whoa.
Light in the darkness. Yeah, that was cool. I remember that. That stuck with me for a while. Just thinking about like the most direct way to remove evil from the world is just put.
Wait, did I give you that speech at like Lauren Resurrection in like Liv's house?
Yeah.
And then I think was Jake there too, and like inspired him like one trip.
Yeah. It was Jake was ready to enlist. We were like, we're gonna go kill some Taliban right now.
That's crazy.
And get after it. So now you're drumming. Really good on the kit. I mean, this guy's the real deal. We went and watched him. Last weekend? Me and Cole were out there.
Where?
At
Was that triple or 3-5?
3-5.
Oh, 3-5.
Yeah, and we were just watching you drum away. He was with a country band, and you were playing the shit out of those drums, and we were all
maybe a little bit too much. I kind of got a little carried away. I texted her the next morning. I was like, "Were you there too?" You were there too. Yeah, I texted her the next morning. I was like, "Yo, my bad. Look, you got a bit carried away." She's like, "No worries, you're good." But yeah, I was like kind of, I don't know. I got a little too drunk.
It happens. I mean, you were playing though. Like you're a rock star. That's how you play. And
apparently, Pat was like telling me to like.
He was, yeah. We could see like the tension in the band. They were like, chill out, and you were just drum rolling to the next thing.
She called me back for a Darty after that, and then I'm supposed to possibly play with her tomorrow at Triple T's too. So I don't think it was too bad.
So yeah, you didn't screw up anything.
I don't think it was too bad.
No severed ties. You were just filling in though.
Yeah, I didn't know any of the songs. So now she told me, she's like, I'm definitely gonna use you more this semester. So like, if you want to like check him out or something, like it'll be worth your time. Cause like I'll use you again. I was like, bet. Like actually like look at the songs.
Yeah. Actually learn them before you go out. Just try to play along.
Not just like listen.
Yeah, that's really cool. We actually on the last episode we talked about how Whiplash is my favorite movie.
Dude, that's your favorite movie?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Whiplash is, I think, my as a drummer, it's the movie that like I hold to the highest regard of like doing it right.
Yeah.
It's a bit glorified, but they do show it pretty. Like,
absolutely.
Bro, it gets like serious in like those upper level like music programs and like jazz programs and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For you, were you classically trained or anything, or when did you start?
So music for me started when I was like 4. I started piano I played classical piano until I was 10. Then I switched to the drums. I kept taking piano as well, but then I switched to jazz drums.
Mm-hmm.
So like from 10 to like sophomore year of high school, I would had a jazz music teacher.
Yeah.
And I played for the Georgia State Rialto like youth orchestra. They had like a youth program. It was like a kind of like for sports, they have like clubs that like feed people into like college and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like that type of program, but for music. And so I was like a part of that program for like a few years, and then I ended up dropping it to focus on soccer. When I made varsity in high school, and then I went to college, and then my drums I'd still like every time I'd go home I'd like play the shit out of them, but then I really only kind of got back into it because of like Dazer. Because then I had a reason to bring my drums back.
Right.
But yeah,
So
that's my background.
that's really cool. Dazer was the band you were playing with before.
Yeah.
Did you ever like think you were gonna be back there? Like say, high school or even college, like sophomore year, were you thinking
Honestly,
like that's what I want to do? That's my passion, or was it just like it came about?
Yeah, no, definitely not. I never wanted to be a professional drum player. I didn't want to be a professional drummer. I knew that, but I do have like I do feel like music music is like a different thing to me. Like I kind of feel like music is my thing that I need to do, but I haven't gotten to a point in my life where I want to like fully dedicate myself to that yet.
Yeah.
But it was kind of surreal because like I thought that my time playing with like people and like bands and stuff was done after high school, and then like just this past year I've been like low-key had a lot of really cool experiences with Dazer, playing for like a lot of people at like places in like Columbia and stuff, and even like playing downtown in Clemson. It was so awesome for like me to be able to share like such a big part of who I am, like my drumming and stuff with like my friends and stuff here. It was like super cool to be able to play like backstreets for like my boys and stuff. So that was kind of wild because I didn't really think that was gonna. But as a young kid, I did always think that I would love to have a band in college.
Okay. No kidding.
So
wow.
That kind of went like full circle.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, the big part of the reason I would like go out and watch just because you were there drumming,
Oh, yeah.
just like it's so cool to have like a piece of that on the inside. Like I know that guy and I'm just watching him play.
Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time like what your plans were, like where you're going with it, like if you're just doing it because you're making money and stuff. So
yeah, that was a cool thing too.
Yeah, it's been cool to watch for sure. And Dave Grohl, one of my favorite people like ever. Foo Fighters and Nirvana, like two of my favorite bands. So I read his book and just like I wish I was more musically inclined. Cole and I talk about it all the time. Like I never grew up like recorder was probably the only thing I played. I was just constantly playing sports, so I never really had that opportunity to play any musical instruments. It's something I kind of regret because I think I have like a deep passion and appreciation for like the art of it.
Yeah.
I just never tapped into it, so I get to live vicariously through you when I watch you play and practice and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think of sports as a way of like kind of self-expression, like art as well.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of needs some sort of thing that they do that they can like express themselves with like that. Like music is one thing, but like running is also art, bro. Like that's
100%. 100%. Yeah, I think about that a lot. They like Steve Prefontaine that we talked about.
Yeah,
we talked about him
Prefontaine.
Last episode. Just like he would run the race like as gutsy as possible because that was like how he was as a person. He was just like an adrenaline junkie. Like he's gonna go out and run as fast as he can for whatever. There's no tactical racing that he had. And I kind of liked to embody that spirit where it's like I'm gonna give 100% in this race. Like I'm not gonna just race to beat a guy by 1 foot at the end. And like a lot of times I would lose a race because I would go out and like try to break somebody, But I'm not gonna sacrifice like who I am and who I want to portray myself as in that performance for more gold, which is probably like against like the whole like Kobe Jordan mentality where it's like they're just trying to be the best possible. Like I did like to express like a race is like almost a painting to me. It's like I get to show my effort throughout this and make it look as easy as possible through my face, and make a big move, get the crowd excited. Like, all those things factor into my head sometimes. So that's what's cool about it. And watching real art in the form of music is like the ultimate expression of that. So
yeah, man, music and like physical activity and stuff, and like so many other things like painting and stuff, all like trigger the brain's like frequencies, bro.
Yeah.
In like cool ways, man.
Yeah, and you're a chemistry major, correct?
I'm a psych major.
Psych major, but you maybe just were in organic chem or something.
Well, yeah, so I had to take all that stuff for like pre-med.
Gotcha.
So I had to take like orgo, and I'm in physics right now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I've taken like orgo.
Yeah, I remember that back in the day. I used to be studying like at RTC.
With Fancher, bro.
I'd be studying for a chemistry test and be like, he's going through it right now.
Yeah, man. Thank God I'm done with that.
Yeah. So where do you think you're headed, like future-wise, if you were to throw out the 5-year plan right now? Like, you graduate in May, is that correct?
Yeah.
And then are you going for a job or pre-med? You're going to med school, or what does that look like for you?
So for me right now, what I'm looking at is graduate in May. There's actually you probably don't know. His name is Cole. He's in Alpha Sig, but he already graduated. He is working for an ambulance company out of Greenville. And so my plan is to work as an EMT for a year and study for the MCAT, and then go to a post-baccalaureate program after a year.
Yeah.
So I'm still living here next year, even though we graduated.
Sure.
So it's EMT and like study for the MCAT next year, and then a post-baccalaureate program, which is like kind of like a pre-medical school, like master's type program where you can. They help you with like the MCAT and stuff, but you can also like take intro classes. Again, because my first semester I didn't do great on intro, like freshman biology.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to retake that again, as well as like intro chem, just for the MCAT.
Right.
And then post-bacs also help you get into medical school though. And so after my post-bac, that's when I go to medical school. So it's like
Sweet,
EMT,
dude.
Post-bac, medical school.
Sweet. Yeah, I had met a EMT this past summer, and it was one of like the cool. I mean, I had a million questions for him, probably annoyed the shit out of him, but one of the coolest jobs I think you can have.
Yeah.
Just out there saving lives, like quite literally the difference makers out there.
Dude, yeah. It's pretty real job.
Yeah.
I've had to think about like, I'm probably gonna like see some stuff that's probably like kind of heavy, but
yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to see if that's really what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great way to serve the community, and then the hours are, the guy I was talking to was doing 3 days off, or 3 days on, 4 days off, which seemed pretty good to me,
Yeah.
I mean, you're sleeping around the clock and stuff, but
yeah. I do that anyways.
Yeah. So so do you think you're gonna be drumming throughout that time?
Yeah, dude. So honestly, I also plan on this next year kind of putting more focus into my own stuff, like my own music.
Yeah.
I want to really learn the ins and outs of Ableton Live, which is a professional production level music software platform, which is what most big artists use.
Sure.
Rap and stuff, they tend to use like FL Studio, like different genres of music, like more like EDM and like other stuff too, like country and stuff. They tend to use Ableton. So I want to really like learn the ins and outs of that this next year, and I'm gonna be making a lot of my own music through there. So, and we'll see what happens there, because I've been making music for like 2 years now on my computer with GarageBand, and I keep just kind of making stuff that I keep feeling like I've exhausted all that GarageBand can offer me,
Mm-hmm.
and then I keep kind of doing something that kind of I can do more with this, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of kept evolving. I thought it was going to stop after a month, but it's just kept going over 2 years, and I've actually really kind of impressed myself with how many times I've broken through that, broken through not thinking there was anything left to break through.
Right.
What the fuck, dude? Holy shit. So, I'm gonna do that next year.
Okay.
And see how far I can take that.
That's sweet, dude. That is awesome. That is so cool. Do you think you get more joy out of making music or playing? Or is it just two different things?
Dude, when I'm making music, it's like unlike anything else, bro. It feels like it just kind of comes out and it's like just, I don't know how to really describe. It's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like nothing that really beats it.
Absolutely. Who are some of your like influences you think, like
Dude.
musically or just in general, like anybody you look up to in that space?
So for my own stuff, I have a lot of influence. I'd say that like my beat style, like the rhythm, I tend to like a lot of I'd say maybe like it's like Uzi / like Cardi type beats, but then I'd say like the like melodies and stuff are more something that like I picked up over years of listening to like this Finnish metal band called Nightwish.
Okay.
Because they have a lot of like symphonic kind of like operatic kind of like a vibe to them. I've been influenced a lot by like Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Like a lot of songs that Tame Impala's made. I like there's like bass, Thundercat, bro. You know,
Thundercat, yeah.
I love
yeah.
Thundercat, dude. His bass, like I love his bass lines.
He did the Tiny Desk with Mac Miller.
Yeah, he did the Tiny Desk with Mac Miller.
It's crazy
awesome.
too when he plays that.
Yeah, they're really good friends. But there's a drummer called Larnell Lewis that I just like love listening to, and like I've incorporated some of what he's done and stuff to like my playing. But yeah, my own music, I'd say it's very like synth, so it's like very EDM influenced, but with kind of like maybe like a hip hop or like trap type like 808 style like bass with kick mixed in.
Yeah. So where do you like do you drop the music anywhere right now, or
No.
you're just kind of making it and then just it's kind of for your own passion, not exactly for like coverage?
Yeah. So actually, this is interesting. So about 2 years ago, I started making my own music. I was pretty down bad one day, and I just like kind of turned on GarageBand and made something, and then like about a year of like me just kind of making stuff happened until I was like pleasantly surprised by it enough that I was like, maybe I should, think about putting some stuff on like SoundCloud or something. And then I had like a pretty thought out idea, mainly over last summer. I had this whole idea for like this album that was going to be called Things to See in Space, and there was 3 songs that I made for it, and they like all had their titles. Like one of them was The Sun and the Moon, which is like Things to See in Space,
right,
and stuff. And like they all have like lyrics. And I actually worked with an audio tech major here at Clemson, and like we like mixed it. I mixed it with him. I mastered with him. I like recorded vocals. I had like all pretty much produced, and I was planning on dropping 3 songs with like album cover and everything. Like I had everything like planned out, and then I all right. It's gonna be like just like the boys watching.
Yeah.
So I rolled again. I rolled with this girl, and I got like down bad. And then I made a song like the next morning. In like 3 hours, I just like made a song that like after months of planning on dropping this one out, like this one little group of 3 songs. This one night happened. Like I made a song, and I was like, wow, if I can like this other stuff is shit. Like it just made me immediately think that the other stuff that I made was shit, because my new song I thought was so much better. So that like halted my plans of dropping anything, because I was like, I can like this is so much better. I don't want to drop that stuff anymore. You know what I mean? And then I've made 2 more songs since then. So now I've decided that if I am gonna drop stuff, I've thought about dropping the song that I showed you outside of 3.5. It's not mixed at all or mastered at all, so I'd probably have to like work on it more with like the audio tech guy to help me like mix it. I've thought about dropping that one, but I really just have so many more ideas. I have like 75 songs just like saved on my computer that like I've decided to like not finish.
Yeah.
But like I have so many more ideas that I'm just gonna keep seeing what I can do and just keep seeing how high, and then I can go in GarageBand, and then eventually make the switch. Then I'm only gonna really start dropping stuff once I make it and like able to.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's a whole ass
that's
thing
like,
you got. I mean, 75 songs is no small feat.
That's like exactly where I'm at with like my music.
That's crazy, dude. That is awesome. That is so cool. Just to hear that whole process and making all that stuff, and I feel like you could always put something out, no matter what's going on. But I definitely get that, because I think you're a pretty emotional guy. Like like not emotional as in like any more emotional than someone else, but you express yourself very easily, and I can definitely see how your music be influenced by that, and how you're not afraid to just like go out there and make something that's reflecting what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it ends up becoming just like an avenue for like letting it out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just comes out in that form, and then I feel better because then I can like that's it. You know what I mean? That's how, and it shows me kind of how I feel about stuff too. It's kind of nuts. I don't know. Music is something that like is so like magical to me, kind of.
Right.
Because it like affects you in ways, and like science doesn't really know how, but like it has to do with like affecting your consciousness and your frequency.
Right.
And I feel like music, like artists, like a lot of like electronic people have really found a way to like harness like the power of like consciousness through their music.
Right.
Like if you go to these raves and stuff, part of what is so interesting to me about like electronic music is how they seem to be able to use frequencies to like to just like literally bring like emotions out of people, just make people feel certain ways. Like certain artists just like know so well how to do certain things, and that to me is like, it's like magical.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm definitely more on the consumerism side of all music and appreciative, but
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think it can change, you know, a lot. I listen to a lot of like instrumentals.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll listen to like the Inception soundtrack or like
Yeah.
Interstellar soundtrack.
Dude, Interstellar's like magic, bro.
Yeah, like I'm sitting there and I'm driving and I'm listening to the just like little repetitive beat and it's getting louder and louder. Yeah, and it's just like, you know, it feels like I'm doing so much more than driving somewhere. I'm thinking about something and like there's, you know, the music's transcending me to somewhere else.
Dude.
And
music connects you to different times in your life as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think
people
auditorily there's like the memorization with your auditory system. There's something there where you can hear it and be taken back to that place.
Yeah.
I forget what that's called, but
like nostalgia.
yeah, almost. But it's like a sensory memoric device. I don't know. If you're listening to some type of music and studying, like it'll help you remember it better. But I mean, that's what I do. It's like I don't know. Have you ever listened to Lindsey Sterling at all?
The violinist.
Yeah. That's what I used to
do like Skrillex covers or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Lindsey Sterling, bro.
Yeah.
What? I haven't heard that name in so long.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used to listen to her in like high school. I think so. But I used to listen to her while I was studying, and like she'd be going crazy
so hard,
with the violin. But then I feel like I would remember things, and then when I listen to it now, like some song came up, and it like took me right back to that place. I was like, damn, I was on the bus in 8th grade, like going home listening to this song, which is super cool.
Yeah. For me, that's Lo-Fi Girl. You know Lo-Fi?
Yeah.
Dude, I listen to Lo-Fi. Like, I'll straight up pull like 3 days straight on Addy at the library, grinding for like Orgo back in the day, whatever the fuck. Like, dude, Lo-Fi Girl the whole time. Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. I know the video you're talking about.
Like, zone in, like, it's time. She's studying.
Right. She's there with her little hand.
She's there with her little hand, like, me too, bro. Like, yeah, man.
You're united. Diego, you got any questions?
Any questions? We do live together.
Cole, you got anything?
I will tell you.
Okay, I got you.
Hopefully never go back to the jazz drum.
Yeah, will you ever go back to the jazz?
Honestly, dude, I do really miss other stuff besides like hard rock. Cause I grew up playing, my drum set was in my basement, and I had like drum headphones, and I would play whatever through my drum headphones and play along with it.
Right.
Cause it would make my drums sound like they were in the song.
Right.
And so I played everything, and I really miss, cause my drum set lives in my car now.
Right.
I don't really have time, like a place or time to go set it up and just play whatever I want to.
Right.
Whenever I'm playing, it's with like a country people or with Dazer, and so I really miss being able to just play like other stuff like jazz or like I don't know, like Tame Impala.
Yeah. Did you ever have one of those little setups where it's like not real drums and you like hit it and it makes a sound?
So I started on an electronic drum set because we lived in a townhome. My first like 3 years of drums, I played an electronic set.
Gotcha.
And then after that is when we moved into a house, and then I got to get a real drum set.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if somebody was trying to get into drumming and didn't want to drop a bag, like immediately, is like Yellow Books?
Yellow Pages. You know Yellow Pages?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like pan lids. That's when I started. I was a kid, and my mom would just put up Yellow Pages on like a bunch of chairs and stuff, and like I would put like pan like pot lids on like chair. And I just put my earbuds in and just like play along with like my favorite music for like hours, and I would just sit there and just like play on pans and stuff, like cups filled with different amounts of water.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the step? And then it went to the electronic kit from there.
Yeah. Then I did that enough that my parents were like, because I wanted to take lessons.
Yeah.
So I did that enough that my parents were like, okay, maybe we'll get him a teacher. And then when I got a teacher, I did that enough, and my parents were like, all right, let's get him like an electronic set.
Yeah, that's super cool, man.
Yeah.
That is super cool. I feel like there's a lot of progressions like that, especially when the parents are seeing that passion and seeing that you're committed to something. I remember like running. I don't really have any passion for running in like middle school. My dad was like, you could be good at it if you really tried. And he told me he'd buy me Sambas, you know, the Adidas shoes.
Yes.
Sambas. He was like,
hell yeah,
I'll get you a pair of Sambas if you break
like the futsal shoes.
Yeah. He was like, I think if I broke
Classic.
6 minutes in the mile in seventh grade, he was gonna buy me Sambas. And I remember I ran like 5:53, and I came home and I was just like, order those boys right now, Dad. Like, I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
So that's cool. That's super cool. The pots and the pans to now playing real sets, and who knows where it's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm grateful for my parents having like given me like music. You know, because neither of my parents are musical. But they both were kind
embraced it.
Yeah, they embraced it, so it was cool.
Word.
Big part of who I am now.
Word. Anything else? What's up?
Did you ever start your own band?
Yeah, I've thought about, because the music that I make on my computer, it would be easily converted into acoustic. Like, it can be easily played by a band.
Yeah.
With like a keyboardist, a bassist, and then me and like a singer. So yeah, I have thought about that. But for that to happen, I'd probably, for me to form a band, of the vibes that I think I would form a band, I'd probably have to move to like LA or something. I feel like.
Yeah. Go where the talent is.
Yeah. Find a place with like a lot of like young like musicians, stuff, willing to try a lot of stuff. There's not that many people here in Clemson.
Yeah, I was gonna say not exactly the mecca of musical talent here, but
also I don't know. I mean, honestly, bands are like awesome. Obviously, like I'm a musician, I love bands, but I kind of like the freedom of independent. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can go anywhere, play anything, and then you don't have to. You're not tied down.
That's what's interesting about Kevin Parker is he only has people that play with him live. Like he doesn't. The music that he made, like Tame Impala, is entirely just him playing.
Right.
It's nobody else. So he's not a band. He just has people that help him play his music live.
Wow.
Because you can only play one thing at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? I think this has been good, dude.
Yeah, man, it's been
really good.
It's been a pleasure. For sure, we got one semester, bro. We have a lot of stuff we don't even know, like what's gonna happen yet this semester.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, like this is a video log almost. Like we could look back 5 years from now and
it is January,
sit down again, man.
January 25th, 2023.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Are you turning 23 this year?
22.
22.
Yeah.
I'm turning 23 this year, bro.
Yeah, golden birthday, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, Jordan year.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, if you enjoyed the episode, please comment, like, subscribe, all this stuff, and go check out Felipe's socials and you know, support the band, support the music.
Hell yeah, man.
And we'll catch you guys whenever.
All right, bro. We out here.
Sweet. That was good.
So proud of you.
Shit, dude. I bet. That's cool.
Shit.
What? Did it only record?
Bro, it better load. Bro, there's like no video.
That's happened last time.
This did happen last time. We got the audio though. Hold on.
Could have happened last time.